This is.
Why'd you get all high pitched? Like this.
Oh, hello.
Hello, this
Oh
is UFS
shit!
time with Bromley.
Welcome to UFS Corner with
Mr. Obama.
Mr. Obama. That's our intro, man.
Hello,
Hello, Mr. Obama.
please help me, Mr. Obama.
Well, today I've got the wonderful Mr. Shoemaker, Shenbo Maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about how many cards how many pieces of cardboard you got, right? It was six, right? Six. That
Six.
is
Throw it
that is
down.
so many more than Bromley has.
Yeah, you can get there. You just got to play more events, man. I've also
Gotta
been
play more.
playing this game for a lot longer than you have. Like, I've been playing this game since set one. You know, like I can remember the first competitive game of UFS I had was against Drew Maffei. He was playing like I want to say he was playing Blanca back when Yoga Mastery was still around. I don't know. Remember if you know that card? Okay.
I've heard
Uh,
about it.
I was playing this really shitty Killick deck. It was awful. And it was like, because he had an ability that was like enhance, commit a foundation, give something -1 damage. And you could play it any number of times. And like, my deck was awful. It was not tuned. I was just getting into the game. And there's no way I could block the last attack that Drew played, and it was going to kill me. And I go enhance with Killick, and Drew literally picked up his entire deck and dropped it in his card pool and said Yoga Mastery. I was like, all right, so that's how this is going to be. All right, this is a good introduction, and just been playing ever since. And then we ended up being good friends with Drew from playing the stupid card game. You know?
Every time I hear about Yoga Mastery, it's in like I don't know. My local play group has some ninnies who are very negative sometimes about the old days, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it was the worst. It killed the
Nah.
game, and like I love the Wild West feel that the way that you're describing it. Kevin Broberg also describes it like that, where it's just like everybody had giant bazookas. They just chuck them at each other. It does feel a
Nothing.
little bit like that right now too.
Nothing's broken if everything's broken. you know,
If everyone's super.
dude, there was a like it, cards like Yoga Mastery were really powerful and probably overpowered, but people started thinking outside the box and how to get around them. Like there was an old Sagat that said, like form, pitch your hand, draw
Mhm.
that many cards. Like so, people just played him with nothing but six checks and then like a five diff attack, a five diff attack, and then some four diffs. And they would just be like, 5 damage throw. I don't care about enhances. Like, take this. Here's a 7 speed mid for 10 as my second attack this turn on turn one. And it'd
Right.
just be like, so long as I don't check an attack, I don't care. And so it's like crap. I've got 5 character cards in my hand. Let me form, pitch all 5 of those, and draw 5 new ones, and see what happens. And mid block everything at 0 speed. Like you literally had nothing but like you could block up to a six speed attack without doing anything. You're just like ha 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 ha. It was
Roll sixes. I can.
you're up.
Having played Quan for as long as I did, I can definitely like. There's something cathartic about seeing someone's frustration as you roll sixes. You know.
That just you saying that, I'm surprised nobody built like a full character Quan 6 check deck.
I did that.
Like
I had a few. I had so many builds. Right. I
yeah,
had one where. Have you seen his UR Black Magic Hex Curse?
yeah,
So the deck I played at Nationals was an evil list, and my original idea was to do that and play one of every character in the format, and just one shot you with a giant attack. But I because I was playing all these character cards, I just shoved in a bunch of Ailurophobia because it gets +1 speed for each
yeah,
one in the bin, and I was like, I'll put Confronting Genonin, that has evil, and then I just kept killing people with Ailurophobia instead of the Black Magic Hex Curse because it was just so fast it may as well have been unblockable. And then I was
yeah.
like, wait, this might be a real deck. So
I
I put
love I love how that deck's like evolved from that. You're like, I got this stupid meme that I love, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second.
hang on. That's how the good stuff happens.
Yeah,
But
they
okay. So your first
okay.
competitive deck Sorry, you go ahead. You go. You're gonna say something.
No, I would say that was just playing locals at our store, and like uh, and that was the first taste I had of actually playing UFS competitively. We had a huge versus crowd, and there was a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh kids. Actually, that's how like I met a few other UFS players. They transitioned over from Yu-Gi-Oh that played there,
Hmm.
and I mean it was eye opening, but it was also like, oh, this guy's talking trash to me. I don't. He must not know who I am. Hell, I don't know who I am. Let's go. Let's figure this out. So that's how it started. And then I had some really competitive like what was it? Emptiness Ken was the bomb for a while. That deck was absolutely bananas. Uh, there was the Ukio was what I my first like world's performance. It was really good. I came in second that year to James Hata getting his second card. Yay. But yeah, like I mean it was just that was the taste that got me into it. And that was like, when did that come out? Like 2012, 2008?
You tell me, man. I started playing in 2018.
Yeah, I might be your father. I don't know.
You're definitely
Unproven.
ancient in comparison to me.
At least UFS wise,
Yes.
no.
Well,
You might have.
when I came into that Atlanta PTC, because that was my first competitive environment, you, Dave, and Phil walked in, and you were like demigods, man. Like I was like, who the fuck are these people, man?
Was that the one at the lab?
Yes, it was at the
Yeah,
lab.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because I came in with the 6-pack on my back,
Yes,
and I
yes. It
started drinking.
could not have been more theatrical. I mean, I rolled in with like two of my friends, and I just started playing like 2 weeks before that
Yeah.
with this shitty Spike 2 deck where I was trying to kill people with fucking Vengeance of the Fallen Angels with strength in numbers or something. It was stupid, but you showed up and you're like, "What is Cowboy Bebop? Finish a beer. I'm playing Yellow Devil." You're like fucking.
Dude, the
But
simple fact that I lost that top 8
mm,
match just because I did not know that Bang existed as a card was. I was fucking hammered at that point, though.
yeah, I mean, once it was 6 rounds after you walked in with a 6-pack, went out
Uh,
and got more.
yeah, the Bud Light Limeritas were on sale, all right?
Hey man, you're preaching to the choir. But to that's what I'm saying is that as a newer player, it was great to see the theatrics of guys like you at these events. It really set that that bar for the culture. The community of UFS is what I always say is the best part of it. The game is real good, but the community has always been my favorite part.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree. There's a few people that take it a little too seriously, but like for me, like it's always just been a way to go hang out with my friends. Like you get like cool people. Like we wouldn't have met it had like we not played UFS together. And now I'm
yeah.
like, hey, come hang out at my house, man. Like just trip up here, just stay with me. I don't care. It's there's a lot of cool people that play this game. And that's fantastic. And then
Yeah.
there's Phil. Oh, but yeah, the I can't tell you like I want to say that the only bad experience I've had like actually playing against somebody in UFS was it was like at a Tennessee tournament or something, and I was playing the very first Weitzel that came out, and if and he was I had this completely. It was my first like mad scientist deck. I love this deck. It was a 4 hand size that would lock you out of playing a card for the rest of the game, and nobody realized what it did. So I was playing top 8, and I had this guy locked out, and with new rules, he'd obviously lose very quickly. But back then, there were no such rules. It was a Wild West. And he kept yelling at me. He's like, play faster. And I was like, I'm not playing faster. You're taking like a full minute to figure out that you can't play a card before passing back to me and letting me keep playing and doing the same thing over and over. It was a completely degenerate combo. It took a lot of setup. It took it only took 2 cards to set up, and they were both foundations. and so they were always susceptible. And then you had to do a few odds and ends, and then you were just like, yeah, I'm good. Rest of the game. Uh, the first time I took it out, I took it to the South Carolina PTC, and Matt Childress was TOing that, and I made top cuts with it, and he came over and I was at top tables like in the last round, and he comes over and goes, all right, man, who you sandbagging into? And I was like, you got my deck list. Why don't you take a look? And he goes, all right. And he walked away, looked at my deck list, came back and goes, all right, what are you doing? I have to watch this deck. And he saw it go off, and he was like,
I see.
That's the first time I felt like really good about building a deck, though. And I wanted to take it to Worlds when I took Ukiyo the year I did well, the first year I did well, and it just wasn't working. And they printed new cards, it just killed it. And I was so upset, and I kept trying to make it work, but never could make it work again.
Yeah.
Rip in peace.
Everybody's felt bad for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when they reprinted the second Huitzel, I think it was Huitzel 2 dot or 3 dot, whatever the one was in the Darkstalkers 10s, I was like, give me. I had legitimately had no idea what he did. I go, I'm playing this. And everybody was just like, okay. And then it turns out he was bannable.
Oh. Hey, man, sometimes you want to play as the big fat robot. You know?
Yeah, dude. You just want to punch people, like throw rockets at people and guns. When in doubt, shoot it. I mean, where's America?
Hey, that tracks. Didn't you play $12 billion Jet at Worlds last year?
Yeah, I actually did. I think I want to say it was about 89 cards, and about 45 of them were ultra rares.
I remember when you showed me that deck, you were like, but check this out. And you showed me that Indine's card that has Stun 3 printed on it, but it's like a 0-bid 5. 3 like Stone 5, baby.
Yeah, it's like a 0 low for 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm playing this guy, and everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, I got 85 cards to fill out here.
That is sort of the beauty of the deck, right? You need to have a bunch of cards in there, so you might as well just throw everything in, right?
Yeah, why not? And I have a bad habit. I'm not gonna lie. Like the past couple like major events, probably for like the past 2 or 3 years, is that I don't do well in singles, because I'm like, I don't want to do well in singles because I want to focus completely on teams.
Right.
So then it's like next day it's like singles before top cuts. I'm like, I don't want to make top cuts in both, because then I got to think about both. I tend to focus on teams. So, people call me a jobber. They're like, wow, he does so great in teams, but he sucks at singles. And I'm like, I got 2 character cards. What more do I got to prove?
Fuck you. I got these 8 years ago. I don't have anything left.
Like, I'm just playing for fun, man. If I win, cool. If I don't, cool. I'm going to play and have fun and drink along the way.
Well, not to get too off of my original point, but what did you play this Worlds in teams? Because I heard you went undefeated, actually.
Oh yeah, man. What did I play? I want to know. It wasn't.
In teams.
Yeah, maybe I played the Sung Mina in teams.
Was it Sung
No.
I know Miles played Ken, and then Dave had Turn Loose.
Turn Loose, and then I played the hard. Oh, I played Jeddah. This is what it was. Yeah, I was playing Death Jeddah, I believe. Or was it Death? No, it was Water Jeddah. Ooh. I can't remember. It was one of those two. It was the super destroy your board and didn't care. And I cleaned house like all day. So, like, I, again, did well in teams. And then it was like we didn't make the bubble, and I was just kind of bummed. So I just played Sung Mina and singles. I was like, yes, this deck's like above mid-range, good. So it might squeak in, but it's not going to win the whole thing. I was hoping it would be more fun. Turns out the meta wasn't that fun.
Right. So I mean, especially into like overly dramatic is real.
There's just way too many cards to answer her.
Yeah. Especially when so much of her power budget is put onto the enhance, it's kind of
and if
tough when that gets canceled.
And there's, like I said, there's so many answers to it that it's just like, yeah, no thanks. Like,
you should have played 7-hand sized Sung Mina,
Always and forever. I got to go back to my roots. I'm trying to think. I've won with 7 hand size more than anything else, I think.
All right, yeah, let's go through it. Let's go through it.
Okay.
Start from the top, baby.
All right. Let's see. I have the book of all of them. Trying to get this. So first one was Z-May, and
Okay.
uh, and then I won my original Ben Shoemaker costume. Uh, the Z-May deck was absolutely degenerate. Like it was. Fire had too many tools at that time. It had too much card draw. It was fantastic. But the key to winning that tournament was we were out after Swiss and I made top cuts and I had to play Jeremy Ray the next day.
Mhm.
And we were out drinking and Jeremy made the cardinal mistake of basically saying, I don't think I could take you seriously or beat you if you were wearing a bee costume. I know it just sounds.
How did this come up organically?
I don't remember, but it did. It came up in conversation, and I go, "All right, Jeremy." So I showed up to top eights in a puffy bee costume with doodle bobbers and everything, and you can ask Jeremy this. He still calls it one of the most mad lad plays ever. But
That's a mind game, man.
yeah, I had him dead with her multiple was big, dumb, and stupid, but he was playing a card that legitimately, if you played a keyword with a rating, it would kill you. I think it was called the Devil Within. It's an old gen card.
I'm gonna look it up. You can talk it.
But so he was like, I was like, I'm at like 3 life, and I know he sideboarded those in, and I just go, well, if he has it, he wins. If he doesn't have it, I win. Play it. And he just looked at me like I was a crazy person. Like, how did you make that decision? I was like, you either had it or you didn't.
It is or it isn't.
You didn't, so I won. Like, I mean, I obviously made the right call. So, yeah. And then I went on. I played. The funny part was I had to play mid boss Jeremy Ray, the final boss sideboard killing machine from the future Andrew Alexa, and then I played another dude that hadn't won cardboard. I forgot what his name was, but he ended up winning. He was in top cuts on every event that year. He was in top cuts in Legacy. No, he literally made – I think he won Legacy, was finals in teams, and finals in singles. Dude was on fire that weekend, but he was playing like this super aggro Mitsurugi deck. And he let me draw 2 cards for no reason that lost him the game. There was a card called Financial Troubles that said, form commit, draw 2. Your opponent can discard a card to negate this.
And he didn't discard a card?
No. I had like this massive board. I had 7 cards in my hand. He had two foundations, and I had like 8. Ooh. And I was playing a super stun heavy deck, so he was never going to get to do anything.
Right.
He only had 2 cards in his hand. I was like, why didn't he pitch? Because I had Dragon Lifter in my hand, which was combo kick, and it basically says combo kick. I won that game, and he let me draw. So maybe it was just the year of bad decisions for my opponents. Is the bee costume.
It's the magic, dude. The magic of the bee costume.
That was in 2010. That was my first win. Was in 2010. Holy crap, that's a while ago.
Yeah, you old man.
The funny part about that is like that's back when Nationals was in Vegas. It wasn't Worlds. And then we turned around right after that and went to Worlds was held in Gen Con, and we got the second card.
Ooh.
Is Lion Stance, the absolute broken monstrosity of piles and piles of text that Drew Maffei designed. You have him to thank for that. And I basically played the same deck, just fronted a different character in front of it. And, that was that. That was an easy one. That was I want to say, I don't remember what Drew played. I honestly don't remember what the rest of my team played, but I know I got absolutely bopped in finals. Like, I don't think I've ever won a finals teams matchup, as weird as that sounds.
Really?
Yeah, I've lost in like every single finals. Because I know that year that was the Atlanta finals. I got Matt Turner was playing the exact same deck I was, and he bopped the crap out of me because we were all teammates. And then we'll get into the previous ones. Next up on the list is Admiral Toofus von McJompington.
That's my favorite art in this entire game.
That was like I forget who designed the art on that one, but like the joke was Maxima Laser. was out, and Drew was playing that, and he'd yell Cam Newton and do the chest pull every time he played it. So that's where the Toofus cannon out of his chest came from. Is he just yelled Cam Newton all day. Our team was absolutely snapped. This is when I first had I actually won that card playing myself, which is always self high five.
Yeah, that's a big
like
dick move right there.
Keenan and Matt Turner both I want to say they built the frame of the deck of what it was, and it was an absolutely ridiculous frame, and then I tuned it to me more, and I was like, holy shit, guys, they made this. It was a really, really, really good deck, and but it was a discard deck. It was a one-shot discard deck. It like blew your entire staging area to win the game. But yeah, that year, Dave was playing the Iori that just lets you draw your entire deck and give speed to stuff because is a free enhance. Nobody care. And Drew was playing Maxima that was just like I recycle blocks infinitely. It was our decks were absolutely like monstrous. It's amazing that all of them didn't get banned. But yeah, what did I play? Oh, then was it the year after? I'm having a look. No. Then that was so 2014. Then 2015, we come into the Drew Maffei Lion Buddy. Let's see, get that down a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I just played a like generic like Fire BB Hood deck that was like, hey, it's back when we invented the Robot Masters nonsense of being like, hey, look, everything's 4 damage, and we're just gonna punk you a lot and just repeatedly. It's we made that one. Then we get Wheatzel and Ben Shoemaker 2 Dot.
Ooh.
I love Ben Shoemaker 2 Dot. That the artist that did that artwork was a fantastic. I was like, look, man, have you ever seen Panda Z? He was like, no. I'm like, here's some reference photos. Because I just wanted it to be ridiculous. Like I'm just driving this big mech. Like,
it is wonderful art, man.
Yeah, dude, he did some great stuff with that one. The funny part with that Wheatzel deck is we made top 4 in teams. I didn't change a single thing from my teams to singles, and I lost 1 round over 2 days. And that's with winning the whole thing in singles over 3 days. So, yeah, it's kind of retarded. Then the latest and greatest was the Liu Kang into Blood, Sweat, and Beers.
Right.
Which that was a known quantity. I was playing the one-stop shop. Everybody knew this was going to be a deck, and there's no real good way to counter it. If somebody wants to dedicate an entire deck to it, then they're just going to lose against 70% of the field otherwise. So there's like no reason not to play this deck because it would just randomly like luck out wins. It would pull them out of nowhere that you had no right to win.
Right.
But in teams, I end up playing a lot of the meta, I guess. I'd say what we would think is the strongest deck in the meta, and it's just
except the Liu Kang can do it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, oh, I don't know what that does. I'm afraid of it. I don't want it. Well, here, give it to me. I got it, guys. So I don't want to say I was a sacrificial lamb in like teams finals, but I don't think we ever paired me in teams finals either. So I always got I think I've always been the first pick for like, oh, you guys won the dice roll. Go ahead. I'm like, all right, I got it.
If you're playing the boogeyman, right?
I mean, a lot of times I was playing the boogeyman, and other times people were like, I'm going to pair into Ben because I don't think my teammates can beat him because he'll tilt them off the face of the earth.
To be fair, like I played Phil once, and he's a monster. Dave makes me like, it's like sitting in front of a calculator. Yeah. Like at any moment, I feel like he's just figured out all of my shit. I only played him once, and like I just rolled really, really fucking hot in both games. But I know how he plays. I've seen how he plays, and it's definitely like it's intimidating regardless. I never got to I hung out with Drew, and Matt Maffei, but I never saw Drew play, so I don't know how
Yeah.
that worked out. But like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the funniest thing I've ever done to somebody while playing and where I tilted them
Mhm.
was in Louisiana, and we'd been drinking most of the day, and we were going into Top Cuts, and we found out there was a bar next door. We're like, we're gonna
Oh
go get
boy.
we're gonna go get a couple shots real quick, and we'll be back. And they're like, why don't you just bring them back? And I was like, oh god. So I come back with like a beer, a half cup of Red Bull, a double shot of Jaeger, and a water. And I'm just like, hold on, 1 second, like,
Right.
all right, have a little water. And then, it was something ridiculous. I was playing the water ukiyo that lets you draw like 13 cards in a turn, because why not? Wild West UFS. Yes, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
joking that it will let you draw that many cards in a turn.
Mm.
But I had absolutely no outs against this guy. I was dead to rights, like I was gonna lose. And I played this one card called Clones. Nothing about it really mattered, except it had an enhance on it that said, give this card a symbol of your choice. So I played it, and I go, enhance, give Clones life. And I had literally nothing in my deck cared about this whatsoever. My character didn't do anything with it. There was nothing. There was absolutely no reason. And my opponent sat there for like 5 minutes, being like, looking at every single card, reading everything. I see your discard pile, rifling through it. And he was tilted, and I'm sitting there just straight faced, like, yeah, here's my discard pile, man. Go ahead. And then he finally goes, okay, pass. I went, pass, block. Just like a snap response. And he was like, what? What did you do all that for? I mean, he didn't know who I was. It was just like, I don't want to say it was troll. I was just doing stuff, man. I was drunk. I was about to lose anyway. So I was just like, we could sneak one off this guy. Nah, we didn't know.
Too funny, man.
But yeah, I like to joke around and have fun when I play, man. Like I said, some people they're real serious and whatnot.
Serious.
Like, I mean, if I'm thinking real hard, I'll shut up, or I'll, start singing like, I don't know, dubstep songs and just be like, whoop, 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 whoop. But yeah, like at the end of the day, it's a card game, and we're there to have some fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes winning is fun. Sometimes playing is fun.
Sometimes playing is fun. I had a problem with Pokemon. I talked way too much, or I would just be like fucking around. It's Pokemon, man, and that's the only other card game I played. And like a judge came over and was like, "You're talking too much, man." So it was like dad walking into the room and just being like, get the sit down, shut up,
shut up, and play with your brother.
Yeah. Children are to be seen and not heard. One of those moments. And so when I started playing UFS, I like, even now I have trouble with it where I just like won't look at my opponent. I'll just look at their cards the entire time because I'm trying not to. But like playing against guys like you, like Mark Tyner's one of those dudes who you just can't ignore while you play him because he's just like.
Yeah, you just do it anything to get you off your game,
Yeah,
I mean, it works on some people, other people.
Yeah, no, but I love that. I love that. Feeding off of like we're still playing a fucking game, man. Like we can have fun. We can have fun. And even though I got rolled. I got rolled against Tyner. That was like one of the most fun games I had. It was just we were just like fucking singing at each other and shit. Shane's like that too. Shane, I'll be like beep, 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 and he'll be like, oh, here it comes, boom.
I think I played Shane at Nationals or Worlds a year or two ago, and he kept sitting there like, because I was playing by a Kuma deck, and he just kept going. I'd play a card, and he'd be like, busted. It's like every card I play.
Every card. Whoa, busted.
Like, calm down, dude. It's not that big a deal.
That's probably because he designed it. That came out right when we get back.
Yeah, that was the Blood, Sweat, and Beers year. Yeah,
that was the Blood, Sweat, and Beers
year. That's right. Was it? What year was that? I got to look again. I got that old man memory. Can't remember shit. No, that was a Blood, Sweat, Beers. That was after that.
It must have been Worlds right after that, right?
Yeah, I think when me, Dave, and Phil started team together, we went we made top 8, we bubbled, then we made top 4, then we won or then we made finals, then we won the thing. So it was
Right.
like 4 tournaments before we won the whole thing, but we right around there for like most of it. So
Well, on the flip side of that, I mean, when I had Dave on, I talked about it too. I've I played with really great players. I think every time I played teams, never made into top cuts for teams.
it's a
Um,
different beast.
it is.
And
It's hard. Like I don't think I'm a terrible player. I think I not to toot my horn, but I can play the game. I mean, usually from a different angle, but I can play the game. Um, but I have a bad habit of like, I don't think I pair well, just personally.
yeah, that's the other thing that like that I think a lot of teams struggle with is they
Yeah.
don't know they don't communicate well or whatnot. Like when you're putting your team together, being like, what are your good matchups? What are your bad matchups? Like
Right.
you have to look at those things. And to be fair, like our team, that sometimes happens. Other times we're just flying by the seat of our pants. We're just like, I'm good. I got this. You know?
Sometimes you're just born better, man.
I don't know about all that, but we'll go in there and be like, it's like I don't want to play against that. All right, like, do you care about anything else? No. Okay, get that away from him. That's the way we'll pair. Or we'll
Mhm.
go. This match is super free. I win this like 80% of the time. Give me that matchup. Okay, you got that matchup.
Right.
If you lose, who was it? I think it was Garrett Brett's team one year that I like. They won the dice roll and then they couldn't figure out a matchup, and I was like, hey guys, I got a suggestion for you. If y'all can't figure out a matchup, we'll just take first pairing for you, and take that off your plate, so you don't have to worry about that. And I talked them into it.
Oh my god.
They gave away the first pairing. We ended up beating them too. I was just like, why would you do that? But hey,
I'm
each their own.
I'm definitely guilty of like trying to like shoot for the big boy. Big boy.
Yeah,
Like
you want that bounty, right?
yeah.
Big game
Yeah.
hunter Bromley here.
Yeah. Well, like in a team, like when we played into the legendary Wolves team, right? Shane Miles and Danielle. I was like, I want to play Shane, like I
Yeah,
want to
you're
play
like,
into and then I got popped. Or like when we played uh the Shane Tyner and Scott
yeah,
Sudman team, right? And I was like, I want to play Tyner. He's the big
yeah,
dog. I haven't played Tyner yet. Let me play Tyner.
yeah.
So I'm definitely guilty of shooting for like, even if it might not be a great matchup for me, I just want to play it because I'm a selfish bitch.
Hey,
and I'll win them. I win them some of the time. But like sometimes I'll like play the Garrett Britt because I just wanted to play Garrett Britt. I never got to play him before, and we're having a great game. And then
yeah,
he's just like, oh, well, I'll just play Shield Big Bang now. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
wait,
just
yeah.
win. And
Oops.
whoa, I forgot the deck does that.
All right. Oh, yeah, this is Gil. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, dude, that's yeah. So some people get the sniper, they want to be the topple the giant, but
Mm.
I think in our team at least we're fortunate in that like everybody has a truckload of champion cards,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
you're not having that problem. Like, people are shooting for
yeah.
you as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Phil has 2 champ cards. I'm sorry, character cards. Dave has a character card, and I have 2. So we've got like 5 character cards. Like, who's the big dog here? Like,
Right.
how, that's the nice part. I will say that's the nice part about that. And also, it never feels like there's a weak link on the team.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
played on teams where it's like you got the like fucking sandbag that you're just like, come on, just get across the finish line and we're there. That's all you need to do. It's like, I'll put you in this wheelbarrow and we're going. But back to pairing on that though, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. Like a lot of people will tell you that you're looking at the meta and you're worried about matchups and everything like that, versus like, well, if we pair this, what happens here? And at a certain point, it's out of your control. So you just go, which one of us is going to beat which one of them? And you go, okay, we'll take that one.
Yeah.
And after that, you're just kind of like wasting time trying to overthink
Mhm.
what the opponent has. And I think that's actually a problem a lot of UFS players have, is they're always like, well, what if he has this? Then I just lose. And it's like, what if he doesn't have enough
Well, yeah,
views to
what if
win?
he's not over prepared for this? Mm.
I call that the Garrett Brett syndrome, because if you ever watch like people play against him, they're always like, oh, he's got every answer in his hand. I'm like, no, he
No,
doesn't.
just attack him.
He's just a
Yeah.
player. Just beat the shit out of him. Like, pick him up and throw him down a well. He's just a player like the rest of us. And I like same with me. It's like I don't always have an answer. Like sometimes I do though. So can't
Sometimes
get
you
me
have that one revoke, Ben.
wrong.
Sometimes you have that one. Oh my God, we have played! Holy shit! I cannot believe I forgot about
Oh,
the one time we played.
was
It
that
just
in
had. It was just
Carolina?
8 minutes long. No, it was in Atlanta. The second Atlanta BTC I went to. We were both playing Akuma. Played the Akuma mirror.
Oh, that's right. We did. We played the
We
Akuma
played the
mirror.
Akuma mirror. Although I won't even call that a match. How many ones did we check into each other?
Oh, dude, I feel like we both checked like 7 1s in that game or
It
something
was
stupid.
insane. I remember
Yeah.
it was like you won the coin flip, check the one, I checked the one, then you win again, right? And then the second game, and then I died. And then the second game, I went first, checked the one, you checked the one, and then I built, and then I killed you. And then the third game was the exact same thing, right?
Yeah, I remember that now.
And
That
then-
was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I kept throwing you, like, I threw so many people off in that tournament because they'd be like, you haven't checked a revoke. Is he holding all of them? And I'm like, I've only got one in the deck, you
Got one
idiots.
revoke. Yeah, okay. So I definitely have experienced the mind game. That is true. And we spent the rest of that, like, because that was probably 8 minutes, right?
Yeah.
We spent
Just
the
like-
rest of the round just like bitching at Fam about Akuma.
Or no,
Remember?
no, Fam came over us. It's like, how do you balance this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't. Leave it alone. Go away. Fine. That's fine.
No, I threw my character in the trash. I was like, you gotta just gotta get rid of this.
I've thrown my own character, like one of my character cards, in the trash after a tournament. Been like, this fucking sucks. You know, that's always the struggle bus, is when you're like, okay, look, man, I won this card. I got to use it, but it's not good.
Oh.
Shit. My second character, not so great. It's kind of cute. Just got to be real there. Love it. Love the art.
Art's
Not so
great. Not so great.
I did play one nationals where I played, what was it, the Wrath of the Raging Demon. I played that in me, and everybody's like, "Why are you playing that?" Because I'm like, it's 14 damage.
It's big, dude. Sometimes it kills a man. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a shit. Watch this. And I remember I announced to the hall every time I killed somebody with it, and we got one person around. We took one game around with that card. That was my only goal for that whole like tournament too. It was
Take him down with the
fun.
ground pound.
Yeah, dude. If people would be like sitting there and all of a sudden be like, we got another one, boys. We're up to 5.
That's one thing that I will say really drew me into you three as players was how, I'll say, boisterous you guys are.
I can understand that.
Yeah. You in particular, for sure, are unafraid of the semantics of how a hall's volume is. You're going to yell at any point about anything.
Yeah, like I said, it's all about having fun, man.
Yeah, it contributes to the sporting event feel that every UFS event I've been to has been like.
You got to have that goonery. Like I'm a big soccer fan, as you know, and the goon squads you get of cheering and raising hell, if nothing else, being drunk is just I've actually transitioned into going to soccer games really easily, surprisingly.
Who would have thought?
You want that goon squad a little bit, the guys that are just like having fun regardless of anything,
Yeah.
And I've always tried to do that in UFS. It's not always worked, but I've always tried to do it.
So let's talk a little bit about the design of cards, because that's one thing that most people don't get to experience. And I definitely make a point to talk to everybody who's ever earned cardboard. Like how does that process go?
It's I don't know, for me, like it was it was an interactive process. Like I had an idea of what I wanted, like with both my characters, funny story, my first character, it says enhance destroy a foundation, your opponent discards a card. And then if like R5 plus after your opponent discards a card, add the top card of your discard to your momentum. Well, originally it was flipped. So it was enhanced, destroy a foundation, gain a momentum off the top of your deck. Check a 5. After you gain momentum, your opponent takes a card from their hand into their momentum, which was absolutely broken. Absolutely. That was my sneaky way, and it got almost all the way through playtest until Carpetbagger Jeremy Ray, and I will forever call him a carpetbagger for this, even though he didn't let me have a broken card. Yeah, I would have been fine with it getting banned. Came in and dropped the hammer on that. But, for both character designs, it was all about, like, I have this idea. All right, this is what I want to do. How do you feel about this? All right, let's start working backwards. And I've always gone with the approach of, shoot for the moon. And if you land in the stars, you're still dead because you can't breathe space. but but you try to get as much as you can out of it, right? And I feel like I should have fought harder on my second character to get more out of it, but we were also kind of trying to get everything printed because we had like 5 cards get printed at once.
Right.
It was kind of ridiculous because we held off on getting our assets printed. Because I think we had mine and Dave's character and 2 assets all come out together, and it was like, shit, you got to make the deadline. If you don't make the deadline, you got to wait till the next batch would be like another 2 years before the batch. So I don't think I fought as hard as I did on that one, but like I said, I always had an idea going into what I wanted out of them.
Well, and with assets, I mean, it sounds like it's a team process to begin with, just because of the way that your group is structured. But like with assets, I mean, like when you look at something like, I think it's Surpassing the Limits that has 3 abilities on it, like that looks like one that was like 3 guys who couldn't decide on one thing,
Yeah.
But each one of your assets has been like, this is the thing, and it like, and their synergy with each other too. Like there's just neat, Dave's character interacted with your assets because of the team stuff. So it's always felt like you guys were kind of one brained on it. Is there one of you that primarily thinks of this stuff, or do you guys just like brainstorm while drinking a lot of beer?
A little bit of that,
okay.
To be honest. Drew was originally I think Drew had his pulse he had his finger on the pulse for the meta a lot better than I do. I know that for certain when he was on the team. Mm-hmm. And he came up with the original line stance, and he was like, I fucking hate Dragon Lifter, and I want a card that stops Dragon Lifter. So that was like, sure, okay, all right, let's build something around that, and then let's try this. And he was like, hey, what if we had a asset that turned into your best foundation every turn? And I'm like, that seems broken. I'm with it, And so like he developed some of the other stuff, but the Toofus interaction was like pretty heavily designed around my character.
Right.
Because it had to be reaction speed, it had to be fast, and usable essentially with me. And then Line Buddy, I think, was almost all entirely Drew's design, because again, Drew is just like, hey, what's really kind of bonkers in this game and that we could use? And it's like, oh, this, and it's like, okay, and I don't know who he sweet talks Jasco to get what he wants, but he definitely gets some really, really good cards printed. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was the right thing, because to play an asset, especially right now, it needs to be bananas. The playing a card that doesn't commit for checks, doesn't like do anything but sit there until it's just bad. It has to have a big impact.
It has to be busted. It has to be busted for sure.
Like, especially in this format and the current meta and everything else right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's the really funny thing is that like one of the most annoying decks at the moment, in my opinion, is that Combat Ash guy who just makes assets into foundations. And it's not even for the reasons that you think, where it's like, oh, he gets to play all these broken assets. That's whatever. It's that like he gets to cheekily like work around things that most characters have to deal with. Like Deadlock isn't really a concern for Ash. And Earth assets in general are like generic bullshit stuff, which is like Drew Maffei Lion Buddy is like, that's a broken effect. Like I'm gonna dig for an attack right now, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it right now. But it's like they're like Cormoran. Like I'm gonna be able to block with this after I build it.
Yeah, it's
Elk Shield. I gonna take one after I block with. I can block with it from my staging area. And like those sorts of effects are boring and generic and effective, but they're like if you can do that every turn, it becomes annoying. And I don't even think it's good. It's just I describe it as annoying. And that's my one qualm with the state of assets is that we've sort of like, well, we need to be utility oriented because they have to be worth running in a generic sense. And instead of printing like more things like Drumafay Lion Buddy or Tufus McChoppin that have like really powerful, cool effects that are synergistic in nature, we've arrived at this place where they're kind of like general purpose and boring.
yeah, they're trying to be like a Swiss Army knife, and then they're not very good at anything. You know.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like especially like the Cassandra asset deck, the Shield Big Bang that was clearly a very very broken deck.
Mhm.
None of those assets were scary. None of them did anything that was even relatively good.
Mhm.
In all honesty, they were all mediocre. But it just happened that they were literally there to feed into something else. It was loading them into the Shield Big Bang cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, that was where their value was. But like right now, I'm trying to think pre-quarantine, like what assets. Like I know our Blood, Sweat, and Beers was seeing some play because I mean, it's a infinite breaker one, on
Yeah.
everything, which
Yeah.
is
Pretty good.
yeah. We were like designing that. We were like, look, we wanted something to slow things down a little bit. We wanted to punish aggro a little bit. It's like,
Right.
well, it's got to do something while it's in play, but to make it really good, it needed to do something while it was in hand. So it was never a dead card. So if you drew an extra one, it wouldn't be like, fuck, I have two of these and they're unique. I can't do anything with this. It just sits in your hand. You pitch it next turn.
And you can sell 2 or 4 copies, right? That's fucking me.
No, actually, I wanted to print like I was thinking about making a stacker character for my second character at one point, and they were like,
Ooh,
no,
really?
they wouldn't let us do it back then. I don't know
Ah,
if things have changed at this point, but back in the day, that was not an option. So
I think I heard that when Tyner went to make his second character, they were like, no stacking nonsense. We're not doing that. Yeah.
it makes sense. You don't want to, because it greatly diminishes how many of them you can actually distribute.
Yeah.
So like you're looking at like a little over 120 people. Yeah, is about the max you can give away at that point. So or sell or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. If you need a playset of the character, it makes it a little bit more
Yeah,
difficult for sure.
it becomes less of a collector item and more of a necessity
Yeah.
if it's good.
Yeah.
So I mean I get the reasoning behind it. Not necessarily saying that I enjoy the reasoning, but I get
Mhm.
the reasoning.
Well, on the flip side of this asset argument, right? You played Somina, so Scarlet Thunder is a broken asset, right?
Well, yeah,
That's
it's
a
that, or yeah, that the new Defender 2.0. And
right.
like you probably didn't play in the old Defender days.
Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was essentially the same thing.
Hmm.
But honestly, probably not quite as good as the one now. Actually, no, it was nowhere near as good because it was like a 2/3, and it only had the enhanced pitch of momentum to bounce one if it dealt damage. It didn't
Right.
have the Sung Mina enhance on it, which is where the real power of that card
Oh
is. With
yeah.
the rest of the Sung Mina stuff, like Scarlet Meteor is a bananas. Like it's not even a banana. It's a whole. It's a banana
Yeah.
tree
It's the
worth of.
tree. Yeah.
It's a whole tree worth of like crazy on that card. That card is insanely good.
Yeah, it's in that tier of attacks where it's like it's the opener, it's the middle of it, it's the finisher, it's whatever you need it to be. If it
It
had,
plays everywhere.
yeah, imagine if that card had safe, it would be actually the most insane attack. But then it would be
I
unset.
yeah. Like I can't think of any like any attacks through the years that I ever thought that like this was the end all be all
Mhm.
for attacks. There's always attacks can always do more. Like
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just say that. But there's been some pretty ridiculous ones. Like I will forever have a special place in my heart for Concussion Blast. I'm just saying.
Hey, I just played it in my Valdo deck. I love
I
Concussion
love it.
Vest.
I
That
love that
card is
card.
so fun, dude. Just
Yeah. Just catch. It's just playing catch with the boys.
Here it is.
Hey, hold this.
My dream when I made that Valdo deck was that I was gonna play I was gonna I was gonna play a noob before the concussion blast and make it for 16. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why
Why?
not? Just because I don't think I ever got to do that in this this like 4-round tournament that we were doing online, but it was definitely funny to just be like, you keep having answer for things. I just here it is, dude.
Yeah, you don't get to answer this one. Your answer is to block or die.
Block her down.
Yeah, that was what was so great about the Huitzel 3-dot that I won with. It was just like, I mean, Flash in general. That's why I love it. It's because it takes Garrett Brett out of the game. he's like, I have 700 enhances. Well, this card doesn't care.
None of that.
Yeah,
Stop it.
it takes a lot of the defensive abilities just like out of the game, and it forces you into playing what I like to call honest UFS, where you play catch with the boys. You heard it here first, boys. Ben Shoemaker likes to play honest UFS.
Honest UFS.
Honest, good Christian UFS.
Missionary position UFS. Okay, well, have you been keeping a pulse on the on some of these new cards that have been coming out?
Yeah, I've been looking at them here and there. The problem is, like, they're not on Ultra or anything like that, so I can't see like a dump of them. But I've been looking at the Jasco games, what they've been putting out. Like, Noob seems like the best character to not play as.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's an action. It's just better gateway shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really and truly what he does. I was kind of upset that like people again just are. I feel like they're overlooking him. Like why not just play him as a ridiculous action? You know, like you get to double anything. Like it feels kind of busted in the Akuma 2-dot. Like, oh no, another face down. Whatever will I do? Like, gasp. But some of the other cards, I've been looking at the newest Akuma, and like I've been toying with some ideas for him, but I haven't found a way that I think makes him work very well. But that's just kind of like my pet project. Like it's my new Weasel. I will piddle and goof around and tinker with him until I find something that I think works, or I'll just keep tinkering.
I had a deck I played a few weeks ago where I was playing all 3 Akumas. I started as the 2-dot. And I played Prism Storms because you can discard them with the 3-dot and give something 7 damage.
Why not?
Yeah, right. You know, and like when in doubt, you just make the check a 7 and grab all your characters and be all 3 Akumas.
You're Exodia Akuma.
It wasn't busted, but it was super fun. It was very fun, and like there were games where I sideboarded or like I sandbagged into the 3-dot because it just felt better or more fun than the 2. But I like reversal decks, and it felt fun to just be like to check the the dunk. What's the Akuma attack that?
Oh, the Congo Susan.
Yeah. Susan. We'll call it Susan. Yeah. It just be like fucking Prism Storm on top of that. Deal with this fat reversal.
Yeah, I think I started calling that like Tarzan fucker at one point. Like,
none of his cards are pronounceable.
Yeah, I do not speak the Akuma language, whatever language that may be. So I just wish like I'm looking at the other Akumas. They don't really. There's no real synergy with stacking them. Like,
it's just minus the checks. It's just
you can
the checks.
Do more minus the checks, but after that, it's like But I've actually been toying with the idea of stacking the 2-dot on the 3-dot, but I'm like, why would I do that? It just seems bad. But then I got the gauge ruling. You can't put the character into your hand. I was like, if you could put it into your hand, I'm like, I have ideas. But no.
So the idea for me was that I like Akuma too, but I hate admission fees.
Yeah.
Like conceptually, it's just like it's boring. so I was like, I'm gonna play a slower control game with Kuma, right? And when you get these other guys, it's just more better, you know? It's just
Yeah.
more stuff, right? And so I only had one copy of both of the other dots, I think. And like when you get to the point where you're on your third attack, like even Akuma one dot where you're just like, I'll destroy this committed foundation and give it +2 speed, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. And the other guy's just like, I'll discard this 3 to foundation, and it's just like cute synergy. And while
Yeah.
you're playing a control-y hacking reversal deck, you know.
Yeah, you're
And
trying
that's
to get more stuff flipped over. It
yeah,
seems it's a like I said, it's something I've tinkered with a little bit, but I can't quite. I personally haven't found anything that I think is good enough with him, especially with how fast everything is right now.
yeah. Everything you do have to
Well,
kill
hi,
or be killed.
with
Yeah,
20 health, you
yeah,
don't have a lot of wiggle room. Like I kind of miss the days of the 20 health joust where it's like, hey, this attack, it's not going to kill you, but it's going to put you in range to kill you. What are you going to do with it? And it's
hmm
like, oh crap, well, every attack is this. I have to, you know, block immaculately for this 3 turns so that I can actually survive. And your opponent's like, holy shit, like
hmm
I enjoyed that portion of the game, that honest
The
UFS.
honesty. Yeah, I'm hoping with the My Hero stuff, because they said they're going to make the My Hero format. I'm hoping it slows down a little bit.
Yeah,
You know, like
me too.
I would like to be able to just play the My Hero stuff and it be a little bit more pooled. You know,
Yeah.
little bit slower.
Like, do we get some back and forth here? Or
Yeah.
do I just fucking play this noob Sabat into Wrath of the Raging Demon into momentum?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That-
Yeah, that would be an ideal for me. That would be an ideal for me.
that's some of that devil lettuce.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, if there's one thing that I think I'm learning here is that I've sort of pigeoned you as this like blitzkrieg aggro guy, and I think I'm incorrect there. Because you definitely played tons and tons of aggro, but it sounds like just because of how long you've played, you're pretty much capable of playing anything, and that's it. That's probably your greatest boon when it comes to playing these teams events is that like Dave and Phil can come with whatever, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'll fill it.
I'll build whatever the meta is.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
play it when we need to.
that is kind of the role that I've taken. And like in previous years, like when the first couple times we won, I was these like we had Dave with his spike his spike deck, the whole like Johnny combo player, you
Yeah,
whatnot, and then Drew was playing the hard control, and it was like, well, we need somebody that's just like the American sniper, that's like, hey, none of us can deal with that very well, and I'm like, well, I'm 50-50 with everything. If I win the coin toss, like
right.
screw it, I'll play that. So I did play that a lot, but like the earliest days of success I had, I played like the hardest control. Like it was absolutely the hardest control. And then I think I kind of started getting the reputation for the unga bungas of aggro when I did really well with my Ukio deck, because that
Right.
deck was super unga bunga. It's just like, hey, I'm going to play out every attack in my hand, then draw 6 new cards and play out all those attack and hope you're dead. It's the dive bomb strategy. So that was probably why I got that. But personally, I love playing control way more than aggro, because it's a lot more fun. This might sound sadistic. I like watching my opponent squirm and being like, oh crap, how do I get around that?
What do I do? Yeah.
What do I do here? And I'm like, you die.
Yeah.
but,
Well,
but
I remember when we played Akuma, you said that you liked Akuma because he felt like the most raw control character with his response, which I thought was
yeah,
an interesting take because my take was that like this is the most Unga Bunga character. Like I'm just gonna try to kill you on turn 2 every game, and he can certainly do that, but
yeah,
I think that you're right. His like he's a slow roll guy if you try to be, you know.
yeah, and I think that's a hallmark of like a character in a good spot, like or a top tier character, in my opinion, at
Yeah.
least, is like you want to be like, hey, did I play 3 to 4 foundations on turn 1? Can I kill them? If you can't, well, your deck's probably not that great. I mean, unless it's like a pure control. And Akuma had that ability. He'd just be like, "Oh, cool! Like I ripped double like coffee samba. Let's just see what happens. Like samba, and hopefully I draw some cards and I'm pass some checks. Or you could be like, well, I'm just going to play out all these cards and I'm going to play all these actions and I'm going to make it so difficult for you to kill me that you won't want to even try until like turn 7.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people got into that deterrent range is he was just the deterrent. To be like, does he have the fade? Is he gonna like completely screw me over here, or is it whatnot? And that's what I liked about him is because he had different gears he could shift into. He could go unga bunga. He could play a long game. He could just randomly kill you out of nowhere on any given turn, and that's what I liked about him. And again, I think that's a hallmark of a good deck. Whereas when I built the Void version was not like, I'm not just going to randomly kill you out of anywhere. I am going to make it painstakingly obvious that I'm killing you this turn. You will know it.
You're going to see 3 power to connect the realms.
Power to connect realms.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I'm going to play this powerful attack and kill you.
And then you are not going to have any cards, and I am literally going to play solitaire the rest of the turn. I mean,
I shamelessly stole that for the Quan deck. I mean, yeah, I saw that how well that did, and I was like, hey, Ailurophobia has powerful on it.
Mm-hmm. I actually missed when I first debuted that deck. I was at the South Carolina PTC.
Yeah.
I actually, I'm still upset with myself with this, but I made 2 misplays back to back in the final round of Game 3 in finals. Is the reason I did not win that tournament. I knew, and the worst part about it was I didn't do this one specific thing that I needed to do that would have won me the game. Shit. I didn't do this one specific thing I do that would win me the game. Shit. And I did them back to back and realized I did both of them as soon as I missed it. And I was so mad. That's probably the most mad I've ever been at a tournament. And I'm mad at myself. I'm not mad at the card game or anything else. I'm like, I can't believe I made 2 mistakes like that. Then again, I was on like 5 hours of sleep and it was like hour 24 or something,
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap, I have to drive home another 4 hours.
The thing that really tilts me is when I screw up, but it's like because I didn't expect my opponent to do something disrespectful to me, like when I sometimes someone will yeet a big attack and like tap out and then I'll block it because I'm like, surely he won't try to make the 6 check here, and then they do and I die and I'm like, well, he just tapped out. Of course he's gonna try, right? Like, why didn't I think about it? I could have just taken the damage from that thing and then prepared for the other thing. And so I read you there. That happened to me twice at Worlds where someone went in on me turn 1 and I was like,
I'll block here.
Yeah, block it. And then he's like, on a 6. Oh, okay. I guess
I just die.
Yeah. Nice.
Like you said, some people are born better.
Some people are born better. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it happens in those cases, but
yeah. But well, like you said, like it. I think that comes from me, right? It's not. I'm not complaining about that. Yeah, if you have the gas, fucking put the pedal to the
gas.
Metal. Yeah.
Like give them the heater. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's all weird, and you'll see how people play. You'll get kind of used to how like a lot of people play, and you start. I guess it comes with experience over playing for such a long time. It's like you see a deck archetype, and you're like, okay, I know about half the cards in these deck because I saw what symbol it was. It's like, oh, that's neat. And so like, all right, what tech pieces, like what does he have that'll actually affect me? And you're like, mate, this card and this card. After that, I don't give a shit. The rest of that stuff's there to turn sideways to pass checks, Yeah. So it's interesting. Like you said, what do you call it? Like you're like, they disrespected me because they blocked the wrong attack. And I'm like, nah, you fucked up, Chris.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, no, but you get what I'm saying. Like sometimes you call a bluff and you're like,
yeah. I mean that's the point of it though, is to call a bluff, and it's like, prove me wrong. That's what I tell people is like if they do something and I'm like, well, if they have this, they're just gonna win the game here. And I'm like. Bonk, show it to me. Let's go. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I taunt though, but I taunt people because I'm like, you won't pass the check. You can't. You don't have enough cards. And, But again, I'm just trying to have fun. And like I said, I like messing with people too. So that's kind of a my girlfriend loves me for it, I promise.
Well, she has to be a darling to put up with you, buddy.
Yeah. Hey now. That's getting dangerously close to a compliment.
Oh, okay, man. Well, do you have any shout outs you want to give out here? Obviously to the lady.
Oh yeah, the lady gets shout out. The elbow licking puppy just left the room.
Oh,
You got a shout out to you, Christopher Cromley.
why? Thank you.
Yeah, no, good man, sir. Shout out for doing this. It's like I know everybody's kind of like in quarantine. Personally, I'm loving it, dude. I'm playing so many games right now, and I'm like outside. What's that? Ugh. That's where the dog poops. But yeah, and shout outs to the little One Piece over here, Straw Hats. Just saying, party or die.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on, and I hope to see you when we finally fucking get to go to some
We get to
events, man.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I had a notification on my phone pop up today that made me sad. Like today would have been the Atlanta PTC, and I
Oh,
was like, ah, damn it. I'm like,
shit.
that's a bummer. I'm gonna go drink now. Not that that's why I'm drinking, but
Right. Right.
or I needed an excuse. I'm an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. You can have your own excuse to drink about it for sure,
I'm
dude.
a good, honest adult. Don't do drugs, kids. Nah. Whatever. But yeah, that was a bummer. But yeah, what can you do?